How you going, people? Yeah, it's a pretty interesting little video. A few cops get shot. One of them ends up dying. I'm going to pick apart the tactics. These calls are kind of iffy. I'm sure I'm going to get some people that are going to be upset because I'm not defending the cops, or I'm not defending them enough, or whatever. So this is just my take. And again, a lot of times from being an instructor through a long part of my career, instructing students, sometimes in order to ask a question, you create more questions to make people think. I mean, when you're working with kindergartens and they ask, what's 2 plus 2? Maybe, you know, and kindergartners are too young for that. I get it. Somebody's going to be here. Freaking kindergarten, they don't teach. Because you got freaking idiots out there. They ain't got no freaking life but to come here and to show how smart they are by using Google, or to catch who's ever making a video and putting in time to complain about what I'm wearing, what I'm talking, what I'm tapping on, how come they can't hear me, why don't I use this, why don't I freaking do... God, freaking people on the internet. You wonder why people don't want to do this shit. Anyway, I digress. Look, I'm going to give you my opinion. I'm going to create more questions to make you critical think. You can form your own opinion. This is my opinion from what I believe, and it's not clear-cut because the law is clear as mud, and it's very up to interpretation on whether it's a liberal or somebody that follows the law, or an anti-constitution, or a left-wing freaking climate change, flat earther idiot. I mean, it all depends on who's viewing it through their eyes. So these are through my eyes and my experience. I'm going to give you my take, give you something to think about, and you can do what you want with it. If you don't like it, then get the hell out of here. I don't need to hear your shit. All right, here we go. I got it on fast right now, but I'll slow it down when we get to the stuff.
And visuals you're about to see are intended to provide details of an officer-involved shooting which occurred over the course of the afternoon and evening of Sunday, March 29th, 2020. The initial 911 call came from a home near 40th Drive and Pinnacle Peak Road involving an issue with a roommate.
Okay, so she said the initial call came for a roommate. Now, from a cop's standpoint, I hated civil calls or landlord-tenant disputes. When you have when I hear a roommate, I think landlord-tenant. That is a civil matter. That is not a criminal matter. Cops have no jurisdiction. The only time that cops can get involved in that is if there's criminal activity. Remember, we're always told cops have no duty to act. The Supreme Court ruled we have no duty to act. So cops don't have to do anything. When cops choose to do something when they don't have to, they need to justify why. And they kind of create what I call a special relationship with this roommate, which I'll get into in here in a minute. So here we go.
Currently have a roommate that we need to evict because he's been acting really weird.
Okay, right there on that call, I'm like, look, if you want to evict somebody, go get the paperwork. When you have the paperwork, who's ever in charge of evict, usually it's the sheriff, you need to file it with the sheriff, and they'll do the eviction. You got to give a 3-day notice of your intent to evict, and then after 30 days. None of this is answered in this so-called briefing by the police department. They don't tell you shit on whether this was a lawful eviction, whether they had served him notice, whatever. You get 2 quote-hire female cops that go there and tell the guy he's got to leave, which I'm not sure why he has to leave, because in my opinion, he doesn't have to leave. If he's a roommate, he lives there, that's his room, he has property rights. And just because a little, pink panty roommate got nervous because he said he had a gun and they want to kick him out, and they call the cops now, that's not a reason to force this guy out. But we'll get into that.
And has made us extremely uncomfortable. And we wanted to do it today, but he disclosed to us that he has a gun, and I don't know if this is going to be a safe.
And I don't know if it's going to be safe, and I'm a powerful, strong woman, and we're equal, and I need the police with guns because I don't think people ought to have guns, and now that he has a gun, I'm going to call the police to come save me. Well, all right, that's because you're an idiot.
Something safe for us to do.
The woman called 911 a second time, reporting the roommate refused to open the door to his room and she was afraid.
So, because he wouldn't open the door, she's afraid? Maybe you want to stop banging and trying to get out the door. He's in his freaking room. Why are you afraid because he's in his room with the door shut? So, I mean, as a cop responding to this, these are the questions that should have been asked at the Jump Street. And they cut and paste. They don't show the full video, so I don't know what was said or whether they got their answers or any of these answers were questions. I'm only doing what I have here. Don't come here with your smart, brilliant comment about, Rick, you need to do your research, and you need to watch this, and you need to watch that. You should have watched 60 Minutes, and you should have checked Wikipedia, and you freaking crybaby. God, it just makes me want to disable comments.
We don't know if he's on something or what, but he's not getting out of the house.
Approximately 5 minutes later, officers from the Cactus Park precinct arrived, making contact with 20...
5 minutes later, they arrived? Man, this department's got too much time on their hands. You got a guy in his room committed no crime. He doesn't want to open the door, and somebody's scared because he don't want to door. 5 minutes later, you got cops there? Man, this department has too much time on their hands.
22-year-old Jacob McAbee.
Jacob? Phoenix Police Department, can you come out for a second?
So this girl, officer safety to me is weak. She ends up getting shot, by the way, I think. So her officer safety here is just, look, I don't go up to a room and knock on the door and stand in front of the door with a guy supposedly who has a gun that I don't have cover or my gun out. If I was knocking on that door, I would have either announced from the stairwell or I would have been behind this wall, which really isn't cover. It's more concealment so he can't see where to shoot. And I wouldn't be in the path because if he shot through the door. I mean, this is the most common place for cops to get shot through closed doors is when they're standing in front. I don't remember an incident where a cop got shot through a door and they weren't standing in front of the door. So doorways, remember, fatal funnels. Suspect has the full room move around and all he's got to do is concentrate on one area. If you stand in that one area, not only are you an idiot, but you're making yourself an easy target because you're in the fatal funnel. But anyway, here's Ponytail Girl going to talk to him with her gun in a holster because she's going up there to talk with a guy supposedly that's dangerous, the roommates are scared of, he hasn't committed a crime, and she doesn't have her gun out. But Rick, you're a bootleg jackhammer, you pull your gun too much. You know what? I didn't get shot.
20 minutes later, he opens a door to talk with officers.
You okay? Do you mind if I see your other hand?
You good?
You okay?
You okay, man?
I feel like all of you are fucking with me.
Okay. Anytime a guy won't show me his hands, again, I'm creating... and I know you guys aren't going to... you're going to think I'm some bootleg jackhammer. You're going to call me scared or whatever. A dude ain't show me his hands, and they're saying he's acting crazy with a gun. I'm creating distance. I'm getting cover, and my gun's out ready. Because when he shows me his hand, it may have a damn gun in it. And this is this feel good, hug a tree, you and me crap that we want to make everybody feel good. You know what, dude? First of all, I don't know why they're there or crime. I don't even think I would have contacted the dude. I just showed up and went, this is a civil matter. Has the guy committed a crime? No. You being scared is not him committing a crime. He hasn't committed a crime. I can't arrest him. I can't tell him to leave. He lives here. Okay? You want to go get a restraining order? Go get a restraining order. If a judge says remove him, I'll remove him. You want to go evict him? Go get a eviction order. Show you showed him service, and then he'll be evicted. But this crap of going up here contacting a dude because a roommate called. He said he had a gun and I'm scared. And will you send people with guns to protect me because I'm scared because I don't have a gun because I'm a freaking idiot. Whatever.
We're not,
No,
man.
we're not. We're actually here to try and help. You have rights as a tenant.
Okay, first you had the guy talking to him. Now you got the female talking to him. Now they're both wanting to talk. And I mean, contact cover. I don't know if agencies aren't teaching it anymore, but when I worked, look, you have a contact officer, you have a cover officer. Cover officer shuts his freaking mouth unless he sees the safety or unless he has to take immediate action to stop somebody from getting hurt. Otherwise, you observe, you're overwatch, and you shut the hell up. And even when I worked, if a woman showed up, they always had a problem being a cover officer. They always wanted to be a contact officer.
And so does the owner of the house.
Officers talk with Jacob, trying to convince him to leave peacefully.
Okay.
Oh, great. They tried to convince him to leave peacefully. Well, wait a minute. Why are they trying to convince him? Either he's broken a law or he hasn't. Why do they need to convince him?
We're just here to be sure that nobody fights with anybody and that you leave and you're on your way and then we're out of here. That's all.
Are you
Okay?
telling me the truth?
Yes,
I
we are.
promise you. You have my word, okay?
You have my word. Any idiot that believes government, knowing that they can legally and lawfully lie, anybody that believes government, period, at any time, on face value, is a damn fool. But this guy obviously isn't thinking clearly because he asked him, expecting an answer. I'm assuming he's expecting to act on that answer, which he does. He comes out.
The whole truth?
Mm-hmm.
True. You're not
The whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. There's my oath. Come on out so I can shoot you.
in trouble.
As officers work to get him to leave the house on his own, Jacob begins to make requests of the officers.
Okay, this is what we call a stalling technique. That's why I don't get involved in civil. When I went to most incidents, it's like, look, I don't want to be here any more than you want me here. I'm here to either keep the peace or to get rid of the problem. So if you're going to be doing this, I'm identifying a crime so I can arrest you. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time babysitting and trying to be your friend and all this other shit. Look, either I've got authority to make you leave and you leave, or I arrest you. This is going to happen pretty quickly. It ain't going to be no dancing around waiting for you to decide how this is going to end. But these cops let this guy be in charge this whole incident. Well, Rick, they were doing, and it was policy, and cops have a tough job, and it's dangerous, and they're all heroes. Oh, bullshit. Come on, people.
Why'd you
Go
walk
get
out?
my stuff.
Hey, calm down.
You guys said you were gonna help me.
Yeah,
and
we're
now
gonna
you're
help you.
lying to me.
Okay?
We will
I'm going to
take
get your stuff.
hands up.
Both of you.
What are the colors of the items?
Okay, the cop telling him, calm down, not a good thing, man. Anytime somebody, when has anybody ever calmed down when somebody told you to calm down? Whether it's your wife, whether you're telling your kid, whether whoever it is. Yeah, I mean, go ahead and try to tell your boss to calm down, see how that works out. That never freaking works. So to me, as soon as cops start saying that, that means they're either getting frustrated, they're losing it, and they got nothing else. I mean, this guy still got his hands in his pocket. He's got a backpack. They cut the video. I don't know if they patted him down or searched him. So they're handling a dude that's supposedly unstable that might have a gun, and they're standing around BSing with him.
She has to stay down here. She has to, okay?
Jacob delays leaving, doing things such as stopping to get a drink or asking multiple questions, some of which don't make sense to the officers.
Okay, so that, again, that's standard. Everybody does that. They don't want to leave. They start to leave. Then they start having second thoughts. Then they think about their jailhouse lawyer that told them, don't ever leave, man. Don't listen to the cops. Don't trust the cops. And then they start questioning, should I leave? Should I not leave? What if I do leave, where am I going to go? Man, this is bad. There's no good. And the longer this goes on, the more likely the person's going to change their mind multiple times. That's why dragging things out like this never works out good. But anyway.
Are you on this?
Am I what?
Are you on this?
On whose?
This girl's got her hands tucked in her back pants. She doesn't even have her hand on her gun. And I've told officers do this, and I know people get pissed off. People used to say, why's your hand on your gun? Look, I'll put my hand wherever the hell I damn well please. You don't tell me where I hold my hand. You worry about the freaking issue that we're dealing with and not where my hand's up before I put my hand up your ass. Rick, you can't say that. Whatever. Freaking people worried about putting their damn hand on their gun. That's one less step you got to do if shit goes bad.
Are you on this?
Honest.
Okay, am I honest? Is that what you said? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, are you on his?
That's what I thought you said. On the lease?
No, are you on his?
On his?
Are you on his?
What does that mean? I'm sorry.
I don't know what you mean.
So now he's got the cops carrying on a conversation about what he's saying and what it means. I think he might be being a smartass saying, is she on his PP to be YouTube compliant? Oh, hang on, let me give a warning. Warning, the word I'm about to use might offend somebody. I think he's asking, is she on his PP? Beep. Okay.
Look how you're standing. Look how your feet are.
Okay.
Right?
Jacob.
Okay, so the guy's put himself in a corner. He's got his arms folded. This guy is absolutely not normal. Again, either they have a reason to remove him, and they should remove him, or they don't, and they're trying to trick him and talk him out. I don't know which one it is, because I don't have the full video, because we're getting bits and pieces of different footage. But I don't know if they even have the right to make him leave. Sometimes cops will try to trick a person to leave just so they can get out of there and leave and make the people feel happy and maybe, you know, give everybody a break. But I wasn't into tricking and doing that bullshit. Either I had the authority to do it or I didn't. And if I didn't, well, then I ain't doing shit. You know, that's the way it was.
That's what I'm trying to ask you.
Oh, I don't understand what you're saying.
They slowly move toward the front door.
Okay, you're trying to get a guy to leave, and he's got a gun. You've already walked up the stairwell. You've walked around the house. You've argued with him about what he's talking about. And somehow, in this tactical shit sandwich, the suspect ends up in the house alone, and the two cops are outside. Are you freaking kidding? I mean, I'm just like, where do you guys get trained for your Does Walmart have a freaking police tactics 101 course that all these cops are taking? I mean, I just don't get it. You guys are outside. You leave the suspect inside. You already walked in the freaking house. You had the house. You don't give up ground. You had the upstairs. You had the kitchen. You had him in a small room. Why the hell are you giving up ground and you give him the entire freaking house with both of you outside? This is incompetent. This is making the situation worse. Now we've spent all these resources and time, and we haven't accomplished shit, except we've given this guy more advantage. At least, when we showed up, he only had control of one room in the house. Cops show up, and now they give him control of the whole freaking house. And they don't even get the other people out. There's still one knucklehead stuck in there. I mean, this damn whole thing, I'm just like, what the hell? And one of you little blue line badge polishing ticket writing punks are going to come here. Oh, you're just talking. You've never. I'll block your ass in 2 seconds. Shut up with your crybaby crap. Freaking blue line, flag, matters, whatever.
So as I'm walking backwards out, you can walk with me. So we're
You
maintaining
say so it's equal.
the give and take.
But after 35 minutes of
The give and take.
But after 35 minutes of talking, Jacob shuts the door on the officers.
There you go.
That's fair.
What the fuck? Okay, pop quiz. Who could have predicted that shit? Ray Charles saw that shit coming. Any idiot with half a brain cell saw that coming. But none of the highly trained government official cops that showed up to save the day with their guns saw this shit coming. Are you freaking kidding me?
Over the course of the next hour, more officers and supervisors arrive on.
Next hour, officers and supervisors arrived. I still don't know what the crime is for this. I really don't. I haven't heard anybody say you're under arrest, you're going to be arrested, you can't stay here, you're trespassing. I haven't heard one crime mentioned. All this is happening because a scared woman, who's equal and strong as man, called and cried because she got afraid because he told her he had a gun. Shocking.
On scene, including the on-duty commander, Greg Carnicle.
Okay, this guy ends up getting killed because he's a commander. He's got 2 stars. And I know people are going to say I'm cracking on him and stuff. Most commanders don't have street savvy. They aren't working the road. Their tactics suck. Why is a commander on the scene of a person, and why is he making entry? Why don't you have the road dogs, the street cops that are there? You know why? Because he showed up and he's in charge and he's going to go first. He ends up getting killed. And people are going to be coming here, Rick, how can you say he got killed and he has a kid? All I'm saying is facts, people. Supervisors and people that sit behind a freaking desk lose their tactical savvy. I've lost my tactical savvy, my road savvy, my road dog sense, my sixth sense of reading people when I'm talking to them has decreased over time because I don't do it. It's a perishable skill. When you deal with, when I was working in the hoods and I was stopping 10, 15, 20 people a day, had my gun out 4 or 5 times a day, making multiple arrests every day, finding guns and knives and fighting with people, I was much more alert. I had a sixth sense about me. I was much more on my game, because when you're in the game, you play better. When you sit in the stands and crack on the players of the game, you don't know shit, okay? All the people in the stands at a football game that tell the football players how they're doing shit wrong, if they went out on the field and tried to show them how to do it right, they would fail miserably. This is what happened here. This guy should have been behind the desk or in a car at a control post, and instead he comes here, takes over, I'm in charge, and he's going to be the one in charge. And he ends up getting shot and killed.
They learned a second roommate named Devin was still inside the home, afraid to come out. Based on
So he was afraid to come out. Well, why didn't the police, when he was there, get him out? Why didn't he say, look, this guy's in the room, put one officer here, hold this room, I'm going to clear the rest of the house, and I'm going to get everybody out, because this ain't going good. No, Rick, we have to be friendly, and they talked him out, and they let him in the kitchen, and they gave him a drink, and they tried to figure out what he was saying so they could have a conversation with him, and then they left the house, and they gave him the entire freaking house. Are you kidding me? Good grief. Why am I mean, in the comments, these cops are going to be coming, man, you're just picking on it. To me, this is basic, ignorant tactics, but, you know, whatever.
on the suspect's behavior and Devin still inside his room at the residence, the decision was made to enter the home. Using keys Devin had thrown down to officers, they unlocked the front door, pushing through furniture that had been stacked up against the door. Officer Alicia Hubert tries to make contact.
Jacob!
No gun out. I mean, this just... is there some new policy out there with cops that they can't draw their guns? I mean, I just don't get it. The commander walks in, and he doesn't have his gun. He's too busy pushing on the door. There's his gun.
Using keys Devin had thrown down to
Who thinks if the guy was behind the door right now, this cop was, like, tactical savvy? This is a good tactical entry. I mean, I can't even imagine. We would do parole probation search. I mean, sometimes 4 or 5 a day. We'd make a list, and we'd do it all day. And sometimes we'd get 8 or 10 if we didn't find shit. And if we found something on the first one, we'd only get 1 or 2 a day. But every house that we did a probation and parole search, we had our gun out. And that wasn't even if we knew they had a gun. They know this guy has a gun, and he's locked them out of the house, and he's a no person, and he's non-compliant. And I think this is the 2-star commander that opens the door with his gun in a holster and walks in like, ba-ba-ba-ba. And then the big brown shark came, and then here he comes with his freaking gun, walking through the door in a holster, and a guy's inside waiting, lying in wait. He has barricaded the door. They have to push through furniture, and nobody has their freaking gun out. Are you kidding me?
Officers, they unlocked the front door, pushing through furniture that had been stacked up against the door. Officer Alicia Hubert tries to make contact.
Jacob! Jacob!
Because a nagging, screaming woman always helps a guy who has been living in his basement or is in his room or whatever.
Jacob, this is Officer Hubert with the Phoenix Police Department. Can you come down and talk to me?
Jacob asks officers to meet him outside or in the garage.
Jacob, come
But
down
nearly
to me!
5 minutes later, when he still hasn't come down the stairs, Officer Hubert makes contact again.
Look at this tactical stance. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Stairways are freaking dangerous. They are choke points. They are ambush points. They are funneling points to where there's only one place if a guy shoots from the top that he has to aim, and that's at the bottom of the freaking stairs. And you stand leaning on a rail with your gun in your freaking holster. And people are wondering why these cops got shot. I'm like, I'm not wondering why they got shot. Ray Charles knows why they got shot. I mean, it's just crazy.
So, I can't meet you out in the garage. It's either you come down here or we come up.
1, 2, 3, and a cop filming 4 cops at the bottom of the stairwell yelling up to a guy with a gun. And people will come here telling me, Rick, why are you being so hard on cops? You just hate cops. You're just picking on. These guys are freaking idiots. I mean, I'm sorry. This is just tactically unsound. And there'll be the other side of the cops that these guys are being fair and they never saw a gun and there was no reason for them to pull their gun. And as long as they had pepper spray and, their race, they were doing what officers should be, Rick, and you're trying to make them boot. Whatever. I don't fuck around when people say they have guns. Look, you know what? 30 years, I dealt with a lot of people with a lot of guns. I didn't get shot. And I didn't have to shoot anybody because they knew not to screw around. And maybe the luck was involved in there. I'm sure it was in a lot of places.
I was trying to make you feel more comfortable.
At one point, Jacob asks to speak to the person in charge.
Now he's got his leg on one stairway, because I know somebody's going to say, Rick, he wasn't in front of the stairway. He was at the rail. He was using. Well, he ain't at the side now. So save your little crybaby comment to protect your boys in blue and girls in blue.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a boss, but he's hiding from everything.
Commander Carnicle had been standing next to Officer Hubert, and so he responds to Jacob.
So we have these two. He's in a stairwell, and they're talking upward.
Devin, I'm right here.
That's not boss.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
So now they all confirm, because they've been truthful so far, yeah, no, it really is our commander. No, really. So let's talk about whether or not he's a real commander. This is what we're got all these officers here. This is your government taxpayer. All these cops making 80, 100 grand a year to stand around and say, no, really, he is the commander. Okay, he's going to believe, because that's going to change something. Who thinks that this guy is suddenly going to give up because he really thinks he's got the commander here? Raise your hand. You're a freaking idiot.
Either you come down or we're coming up. Because the other person in this is Devin, and we got to get up to Devin as well.
You're the one that told you guys?
No, Devin's in his room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you come down or not? So yes or no?
Okay, let me help the commander out, because he doesn't get it. He ain't coming down, you big dummy. He done shut the door on your dumbass officers that gave him the entire house, and he went back upstairs. Okay, we call that a clue. Okay, but it takes a couple seconds for the commander to figure it out, because he's the commander.
At this point, Commander Carnicle begins to move up the stairs, followed by Officers Hubert and Dowan.
So we freaking Congo line up the stairs. Da 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 da. Put your left leg out and then your right leg out, and we're gonna walk up the stairway and get shot. Are you freaking kidding me? I mean, look, I didn't even know when I watched this video the first time where they got shot, and I'm like, dude, you guys' tactics suck. Y'all just fucking walking Congo line up there with a guy with a gun. Nobody's covering. You got I mean, what the? Oh, shit. Where's Ray Charles? Because he saw that shit coming.
All three were struck by gunfire. Another officer inside the home returned fire while others worked quickly to rescue the injured officers.
Okay, I think these are the two females crawling around screaming. The commander is still upstairs. Now look, people, somebody's going to come here and go, how can you make fun of people get shot? I'm not making fun. I'm talking about tactics. Look, when you're doing training, you look at mistakes. You look at failures, and you learn from those failures. And the only way to do that is critique it. Now, I could be here and be crying and whining like these cops. Oh, it's so sad that this is such a waste of, man, this is so sad. See, people, this is why look, that's not my style, okay? These people made some critical freaking errors and they got shot. I'm not saying they should have got shot. I'm not saying it's good they got shot. But I'm saying they had a part in getting shot. I still don't know a crime. Their tactics suck. And I don't know why the hell they all went up the stairwell any damn way. And they're treating some guy with a gun like he's a freaking teenager, throwing a hissy fit because he didn't get his freaking popsicle that he wanted.
LT. Yeah. LT. Commander's down.
Straight down, boss.
Officers provided cover while the lieutenant moved up the stairs to rescue Commander.
Oh, now they have a guy with a gun. Now after gun, I guess they got the clue. I guess you have to have officers shot before you start acting tactically.
Commander Carnicle.
Go. I got you.
Now, when you're going up to rescue an officer, obviously it's a little more aggressive. It's the difference between a dynamic and deliberate entry. Okay, dynamic, and they may have changed the name now because they're always somebody comes up with a new word and they don't like the old words. Dynamic entry was usually dominant, very loud, overpowering, lots of people, flashbangs, very disorienting. You just overpower the adversary and you go in and it's a shootout. That's a dynamic entry. A deliberate entry is where you slowly go through. You don't want them to know you're there. You're mirroring corners. You're crawling. You're whispering. You're not, you're using sound management and you're really moving around the house tactically and you don't want them to know you're there. That's called a deliberate. Deliberate takes more time, usually more officers. It can go dynamic very quickly, but you want to keep it quiet. You're trying to gather intel. You're trying to get a better position. You're trying to get officers in position for the dynamic entry. Maybe you're trying to put in a camera. Maybe you're trying to, set up an explosives or something to blow a door. So these guys now, when you're going in for an officer rescue, it's normally, hey, shit's hitting the fan, go in, guns blazing, grab the dude, and let's get the hell out of there. So I'm not cracking on their tactics now. I'm cracking on their tactics before. And you notice the woman here is laying here. I think she got shot in a pinky toe. I'm serious. She got shot in a pinky toe and her vest stopped the other round. But she gave up the fight and she's going to lay. She can't even. But you'll watch her. When they come down, she's going to look up. So she's not that hurt. I think she just doesn't want to get involved again.
I'm holding right here.
All 3 injured officers were transported to the hospital. Several officers remained at the scene and established containment of the residents while the Special Assignments Unit responded to the scene.
Okay, containment of the area, we're talking about setting up an inner perimeter. An inner perimeter contains a suspect. An outer perimeter contains other people and keeps them out of the affected area. This guy's got a gun, so any place that gun can hit, you would want to evacuate people, and that would be your outer perimeter. Your inner perimeter is nobody comes out of that freaking house. See, now you have to regain real estate because the cops gave up real estate. This could have happened when we had him in one room with one door, and it would have been a lot more manageable. Because they gave him the entire house, they had to re-enter the house, they had to retake the stairway, which they failed, and then they got shot. Now they had to exit the house, and they gave up real estate again. Now the guy has the entire house with a hostage that's hiding in another room.
At this point, while the incident unfolded, the roommate, Devin, the roommate who was inside the nearby bedroom during the entire incident, was able to climb out of the window to
You can
safety.
make it, man. Hold
Are you freaking kidding me? People, if somebody's shooting in a freaking house, you don't want to be on the freaking roof. Dude, you need to jump. Make a commitment. Freaking break a leg. Hang. Do something. Shit. I got stuck on the roof because I locked the ladder down, but I'd have jumped if I had to. Give me a freaking break. This dude's sitting up here waiting for somebody to tell him what to do. Man, no wonder these guys are roommates. They all freaking studied at the same damn Harvard school.
on to that thing and drop down. Quick. Go ahead and crawl if you want. Whatever you got to do. Come on. Watch your head.
This guy runs like he's got pink panties on. Whatever.
Come on. Come on.
SAU took over the scene.
Ricky's scared. Where are you? Look, any idiot that sits on a freaking roof when cops have been shot and a dude's in there with a gun, I'm sorry. You got some decision-making problems.
At approximately 7:30 p.m. For the next 2 hours, they worked to secure the scene and make contact with Jacob.
Two hours of negotiation. I'm okay with this. He's already shot a cop. They can shoot and kill him. So they're not going to take any chances now. And I think a sniper ends up taking him out. It's kind of hard. I didn't figure it out when I watched it the first time, but I watched it like on time and a half. So maybe I'll figure it out this time.
With the sun now down, the body-worn camera is dark and grainy. There is no body-worn camera for many of the SAU officers.
Why? Why don't SWAT teams wear body cams? That's BS. I mean, I don't get it. Haven't we learned that cops need to be watched? Haven't we learned we need to verify what they tell us because they freaking lie and they're shooting everybody? Why aren't your emergency services, whatever the hell they're calling a special response, whatever, why aren't they wearing body cameras? That's bullshit. The only reason we got a picture of the dude getting shot is because a neighbor's video camera caught it. But the PD's acting like, oh, look at this great footage we're giving you on this briefing.
But one of the sergeant's body-worn camera captures efforts to communicate over the loudspeaker. Officers also broadcasted messages from Jacob's family over the PA in hopes that Jacob would surrender peacefully.
Okay, this is a very bad tactical move to, and before anybody says, Ricky, look, I went through the FBI school for hostage negotiation. I was a hostage negotiator, and I'm telling you, parents, girlfriends, boyfriends, 99 times out of 100 will make the situation worse, will incite the person, they will get in an argument, it will cause an emotional swing. Very, very rarely does it calm someone down and make them give up. It just doesn't happen. But whoever is in charge here decided to let mom, because when you do these, you don't know what the relationship is. If you talk to mom, mom will say, oh, I love my kid and he loves me. If you talk to son, it'd be like, my mom's the cause of all my problems. It's her fault. I'm not a millionaire and I hate her and I had to move in this apartment because they kicked me out. You're not going to get all that from mom. That's why you just don't use family. But again, my opinion, all you other experts from Walmart can go ahead and have your own opinion.
34, 44, 12, and 28 when you get that.
I love you so much, Jake. You just killed an officer and shot 2 others. I love you. You're a great son. You're going to be a hero someday.
When those efforts were unsuccessful, SAU began looking for alternatives to bring the standoff to an end. You can hear the sound of shots as well as glass breaking as officers fired non-lethal gas into the home.
Okay, so when they look for alternatives, that means we're going to gas the shit out of the place and try to force him out. Then when he comes out, we'll shoot him. When he comes out, we'll give him a chance to give up. This guy comes out, I don't know if he fires first or they fire first, but because we don't have body cam footage from the units that killed him.
At approximately 11:15 p.m., Jacob leaves the residence through a side window.
Okay, so he leaves the residence?
He was armed with a gun. An officer shot at Jacob, striking him.
An officer shot at him, strike him. They killed him. A sniper took him out. They're not saying it, and they don't want to say that. A guy's already shot officers, and he's still armed when he comes out. He's dead. I got no problem with the shooting. I got a problem with him not having a camera, not being able to justify what the officer saw, etc. Not that that would change anything. Look, deadly force is authorized the second he shot at cops. They can shoot him. He's a dangerous fleeing felon. So he's fair game. So no matter how they kill him, it's going to be justified.
The shooting was captured by a witness from a nearby residence.
Thank goodness for a witness. So notice how the video kind of used the witness footage because they don't want to have their own footage. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known.
In the video, you'll see the area around the window and the side of the home illuminated, followed by the sound of gunfire.
The gunfire will be from the cops, not the suspect.
They're lighting up. Oh, he went for the gate.
Officers approached Jacob and fire personnel responded and pronounced him deceased.
Okay, so, look. This guy died. Yeah, I get it. He shouldn't have died. But in my opinion, he shouldn't have been head dude up the stairwell. He shouldn't have been up there playing street cop. And I know somebody's going to say, well, Ricky was a street cop and he used to work the road. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, you lose these perishable skills. The more you use it, the better you are with it. The more you search people, the better you get at searching. People that work in jail do good searches because they're searching people all the time. People that fight with people all the time become better fighters. People that are working the streets and cops that are dealing with bad guys and pulling guns and knives and gangbangers and fighting and chasing are better at that than people that sit behind a desk and come out once every 6 months to show that they still got it. So They kind of jumped through here. I think this is the one. She got shot in her right leg. I thought they said she got shot in her foot. And then she got shot, injury to her back and left foot. Oh, she's the one that took the round in her vest. The vest stopped the bullet. She wasn't hurt. And her left pinky toe got shot. And, oh yeah, one of the officers dropped a gun, and the suspect picked up one of their guns. Again, cops don't want people to have guns, and they bring gun to scenes, and then when it goes bad, they leave their guns, and they arm bad guys. And then they claim, oh, we're here to protect you. So the cops dropped their gun, and the suspect picked up and used their gun to shoot him. 3 officers fired their weapons. 3rd officer, special assignment unit, 3 years. 3 years? He's on a SWAT team? Sergeant, hash marks. Okay. All right. Well, look, that's my take. Beat me up. I know it was long. Keep your comments constructive. If you disagree with me, then state your piece. If you want to come here and attack me, then I'll just block you. And it's a pain in the ass, but at least I only got to do it once. Then you got to go create another account to come back and cry. All right. We'll end that there.